Now anybody who's used a Rodecaster knows it's a pretty good piece of kit, but there are some weaknesses, and one of the weaknesses to the Rodecaster is the metering. The two output meters there just seem to sit all the time at the high level, and you can't really get a feel of any granularity with your level control. Now, it's not really designed for that because it compresses the nuts off everything, but if you want fine level control, then the weakness of the Rodecaster is its metering. If I play a bit of a radio station through it, it's just bouncing up the top. So what the Rodecaster really needs is better metering, and ideally a PPM like this. This is an old one I've got with an old circuit board. I've got a pair of these circuits. They're old Alice Stancoil PPM boards, we think, probably from the 1970s or 1980s. And the challenge was to see if we could get one of those working and make a little prototype. Well, we managed to get that circuit board working, sort of, and I've stuck it into this plastic box this morning with a PPM on the front. It's not very elegant, it is just a prototype. So these little voltage doublers are quite good. They're a couple of bucks, and you can put anything from 3 volts to 24 volts in and get anything from 5 to 24 out. Now, originally I was going to power this prototype from the 12 volt power supply that feeds the Rodecaster, so it was all contained. But this is only taking a couple of milliamps, so in the end I put a PP3 battery in there, a 9 volt battery, and I've just upped the voltage to 24 to drive that. So all that electronics fits in there. There's a on-off switch, sorry, it's a bit chunky, it's the only one I had. And then down here I've got the audio input and a knob for calibrating the PPM. So that's the principle of it, and let's see how well it works. So it's plugged in, ready to go, and the first thing to do is to calibrate it. Now I have neg 18 dB on that button there, which says it's about neg 16 on the meters here because they're not accurate. Let's turn my PPM on. I've got it plugged into one of the headphone outputs. Calibrate it. That's close enough, I think. So now, if I play some speech through that.
BBC Radio Oxford, my guest in the studio is Ruth Holroyd, and she is severely allergic to dairy.
So that's my project for this morning. It's not quite right. A couple of things I found with the Rodecaster is that the main outputs, these ones here, which is really what I want to use to drive the meter, not the headphone output, because the headphone has a limiter in it and may give false readings. The main outputs are disappointingly low on the Rodecaster, and here is my neg 18, and I'm getting 51 millivolts out of the main output, so that's about neg 12. So what I need to do with this is stick a little amplifier in, a couple of 741s, just to mix the stereo to mono and boost it by maybe 15 or 20 dB to get a bit more control over it. But we'll do all that, and we'll put it into a nice new shiny black box that'll match the Rodecaster, and also it'll sit up nicely behind it with the meter just there, and it'll feel like a proper mixer.